And I'm not saying be reckless. I think that you can have a conservative approach to it, but being educated, being patient, but being able to move at lightning speed is really valuable. A lot of the best deals I have had, it wasn't because it was some off the market hidden property. I wasn't sending a bunch of letters or anything like that. It was really my offer. It hit the market. It was a good deal, and my offer was better than the next person's. And better doesn't always mean more money. It means high likelihood to close.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Kessel. Today, I'm joined by someone I'm looking forward to chatting with, Tony Moceri, who is a real estate investor focusing on buy and hold single family and light industrial properties in the Bellingham, Washington area. So excited to have you here today, Tony.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Michelle.
Awesome. So let's dive in. First off, for those not familiar with you and your work yet, can you share what your main focus is?
Yeah, I've done a variety of things, but primarily I've been a buy and hold real estate investor for a couple decades now, in addition to I used to have a custom home construction business as well, which I don't have anymore. And so, yeah, a lot of buy and holds. I've done fix and flips and that sort of thing also, but generally what I've always done is try to get enough cash so that I can get another buy and hold property, and do that through a variety of different businesses and, the fix and flips and those sorts of things for generating income also to be able to create another buy and hold opportunity. I'm a cash flow investor, I guess, is for the most part.
Awesome. And how did you get started in investing?
Yeah, it's one of those things where I've always kind of been a bit of a financial nerd, I guess, kind of unknowingly. I was really into Monopoly and that sort of thing. And I just kind of was like, man, you can just buy houses and then you get income that way. And I didn't, call it income at the time. And then when I was, I don't know, must have been when I was graduating high school, or maybe I was about 20 or something. And my dad was in the construction world also. And he said, we don't know anything except for houses. You better buy one. And that must have been about 2001, 2002. And they were giving loans out like candy back then. Often that eventually led to the financial crisis. But I was making $8 an hour working at the Boys and Girls Club while I was going to college, and found a house to buy. And so I would have been 21, I think. The bank let me use the income from the existing tenant, so the rents that were already in place on that house, to justify my loan. It was kind of off and running at that point. Became a bit of a deal junkie, actually. Just loved the transaction.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, amazing. Did you get any resources or education in real estate, or you just kind of started investing and went from there? What did that process look like?
Yeah, so it was kind of funny. There wasn't as much information out there as there is now. I had never read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Podcasts weren't a thing. It was one of those situations where, my ignorance was maybe even a benefit. I see a lot of people. I do some real estate and investing coaching now, and I see a lot of people that have analysis paralysis. There's so much information out there that you can get scared off from taking the plunge, where I didn't have anything to lose, and I didn't even really think about that piece, and so I just went for it. I did, after that first one that I bought, I did end up going to real estate school, and I thought I wanted to be a realtor. After I kind of went through it, I realized that I didn't want to do that. Being a realtor is not an easy job. It's not for the faint of heart. You spend a lot of time, talking to people and a lot of unpaid hours. And then I eventually started seeing the realtors as my partners in this process. And so I did get educated, learn to speak the language, learn a lot of the rules for writing up contracts and those sorts of things, but I never activated my license. And then most of my education has really been hands-on doing it. I've been studying my market and some broader markets for over 20 years now, seeing every house that comes on the market kind of in my window. And so a lot of my education was just very hands-on. Made a lot of mistakes. I met with people that I didn't see that maybe they wouldn't be good tenants. And when I say not good tenants, I've had trashed houses. I've had, missed rent payments, all sorts of things. I'm a writer. I could probably write a book on all the things that I've learned through the process. But most of my education was very hands-on. You get one loan and realize that wasn't a good product. You buy a house and you do a bad lease or whatever the case may be. And slowly but surely you get better at it.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you feel are some of the main keys that made the biggest difference in allowing your business to be able to grow and run smoothly?
I mean, smoothly is all relative, but for me, it's probably the relationships. I have very good relationships with my tenants. I value them. They value me. And so often my tenants stay for a long time, both on the light industrial side and on the residential side. So what that means for me is sometimes you can get a little bit behind on your rental rates if you're not having as much turnover, but my maintenance costs are down as a result of that. I don't have vacant months very often. I don't have people not paying their rent. I'm not chasing rents because I have these people that I've built relationships with. So that's probably my biggest strength, and building relationships both with the tenants and then also real estate agents that have helped me, identify a lot of properties. And I've found properties in all sorts of different ways. But realtors have definitely been a key part of that. And so I think those relationships is the biggest thing. I treat it like a customer service business, and I'll have tenants that I rent to, and then their friends will call me looking for places. And I often have a list of people that want to rent from me, kind of a backlog. So when places open up, I often have quality tenants that want to move in.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors. and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, amazing. And so, why specifically do you do buy and hold?
Well, primarily for me, it's the cash flow play. I have a podcast called Drip Trickle Flow Flood, and it's all about income streams, and that's what I'm all about. I try to hit singles. I'm not trying to hit home runs. Every once in a while, you get a hold of a ball and you might hit a double, triple, or even a home run. But I'm trying to hit singles, get something that cash flows so that I can create income that I can live off of. Obviously, I do factor in appreciation as part of what I'm buying and part of um, the reason to do the investment. But the appreciation for me has led more towards borrowing power and being able to buy more real estate than it has as far as like selling and cashing out. So really my whole design is to create cash flow off of the income streams. And not that I haven't done the fix and flips and haven't done some of those. I have when those opportunities have arisen. I did what I feel like is a pretty fiscally conservative approach. I know which properties work. I know what they're going to rent for. I know houses very well, so I generally can look at them pretty quickly and understand what the maintenance is going to be and those pieces. So I have taken what could be seen as kind of a scary endeavor to get into buying a house, and I don't feel like it's that way. And so that just from the knowledge and the experience and going in kind of in these windows. And I've expanded what I buy over the years, but I've done it very slowly, and I'll dip my toe in kind of a new type of property. And so that's why I was at age, I don't know. It was right when I was graduating college, so maybe 24 or something. I was in a lender's office and I was getting a loan. It was kind of a unique property. It was a zoned light industrial, but it had a residential house on it, and then it had a shop, and it was tricky to finance. So I ended up having to get a commercial loan on it. And I was sitting there talking to the commercial lender, and he's like, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm like, well, I want to be a real estate investor. Laughed at me, and a super nice guy, really, really nice guy. But he kind of chuckled like, well, that's not real life. And, kind of in that moment, I said, well, I'm going to prove it to this guy that is real life. And so I was pretty determined from that moment on to find good deals and create cash flow for, as a significant source of our family's income.
Yeah, amazing. And so, what does like the process look like for more of the industrial side of investing?
Yeah, and so most of my industrial properties, they're condominiumized units. So someone will build anywhere from 30 to maybe a couple hundred of these units, and so they're all 12 to 1,500 square feet. It was a little bit of, I'm a firm believer in, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And I did get a little lucky. I was talking to somebody about real estate, and they were like, yeah, there's these light industrial shops, and this older woman, I think she was in her 80s at the time, or maybe she's in her 80s now, had like 100 of these shops or something. And they were kind of telling me about renting them out. And I go, well, that's interesting. And so I called up one of the realtors that I had built a relationship with, and I go, you know anything about these? And she goes, well, I happen to know another realtor in my office whose dad is selling one of those. Do you want to go take a look at it? And I go, yeah, I'll go do that. So I took a look at it and I had been in this complex before about.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
maybe 7 years before I bought my unit, and they were kind of brand new, and I couldn't believe someone was going to pay. I think at the time they were listed for $80,000 or something. I go, who's going to pay $80,000 for this? It's just some 2x4s and concrete. And it didn't make any sense to me. And so didn't buy it. And now I'm back in this same complex 7 years later, and the unit is selling for $125,000. And I go, man, I should have bought this when it was $80,000. And it wasn't the exact same unit, but in the same complex. And so that was the first one that I bought. And I had my construction business. I actually ended up renting it out to a competitor. They were kind of transitioning between offices and needed some shop space. And the cap rate on it was, I don't know if people know what a cap rate is, but the capitalization rate was really, really good on it compared to a residential unit. And I think the jury is still out on what happens when the economy, if it really gets hit hard on these units, because everybody needs a house. Not everybody necessarily needs a shop. But I've had a lot of success and really loyal people that have stayed for years and years and years, operating their businesses out of them. Some of them are just using it for storage. So that's how I entered into the light industrial area. And it's become about half of my portfolio.
Yeah, amazing. Are there any challenges that you feel that area presents?
Yeah, I do. Again, the fact that not everybody necessarily needs a shop. I think that if the economy were to get hit really hard, I could end up with either having to reduce my rental rates or vacancy. I haven't seen that yet, and they actually have appreciated better than I expected. So that's been positive, although they've been fairly flat or modest increase the last couple of years, but that's kind of real estate in general a little bit. The other thing is they're all in HOAs, which it poses some challenges. Not all HOAs are created equally. It can take time, and you maybe don't have, maybe your neighbors aren't keeping up their space or whatever. So there is definitely some challenges to the HOAs at times. The flip side is you can be kind of as involved or uninvolved as you want in those HOAs. So, and they are limited a little bit. Parking is a big limitation at the units that I have. It limits the type of tenant. I've had a lot of like gyms that want to come in, and there just isn't really the parking for like someone to be doing workout classes and that sort of thing. So it is a bit of a niche place to invest. However, where I live, there is less light industrial land compared to like what they're allowing for residential construction. They're doing a lot of infill for residential, a lot of multifamily. And so the fact that there is less land available, I don't see this market getting too saturated compared to, what housing could, although there's a giant housing demand still currently.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what are you most focused on solving or scaling to next?
A big part of where I'm at right now is trying to create time for myself. And so I self-manage everything. And so that takes a lot of time. And so for me, it's really maybe changing my portfolio a little bit in order to, keep the properties that take less of my time versus having properties that are more labor intensive, maybe have higher turnovers, that sort of thing. I think there is opportunities coming, both in the residential and potentially in the light industrial area. And so I'm keeping track of that and looking for opportunities to pounce. I'm also looking at maybe some out of state investing as well, maybe partially, if I want to travel more in the future and have some of those areas. I'm contemplating, maybe a duplex where one side of it is a vacation rental. We do have a vacation rental now that we own and manage. So I am looking at different opportunities, and I think that the market is unsettled currently, and not every single market, but overall, I think the real estate market is a little unsettled right now, and often that means there's going to be opportunity. So I'm keeping track of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good time to take on a new opportunity or exciting challenge. And so, what advice would you give to an investor that's maybe just starting or early in their journey?
Well, I touched on a little bit. I mean, I'm all about getting educated, but I also am wary of the analysis paralysis. I do think it's important to get started. There is so much information out there, right? There's podcasts. My podcast is a little more broad. We do talk about real estate, but we really are trying to normalize the conversation around money, and we talk about, just different things going on in the economy and interview a lot of entrepreneurs. And I think that there's just this big shortfall of financial education and financial literacy in the United States. And it's kind of a taboo to talk about money. And I think overcoming those things, having the conversations, getting educated, whether it's listening to podcasts, reading books, all the things. And I know a lot of people point to our education system as part of the problem, but the reality is teachers aren't taught how to taught financial literacy. It's not part of the curriculum. And so I know that there is some of that going on, but the reality is people need to go find their own education. Talk to your kids about money, talk to your friends about money, talk to your parents about money, all of these things. And so I think education is the biggest piece. When I do my real estate coaching, the first thing I tell people is identify the market you want to invest in, set the parameters that you're looking for. It can always change, but pick what you're going to do. Maybe it's 2-bedroom houses. You're looking for, young families that want to invest, that want to rent, and pick your market and have a realtor send you every single listing that pops up in those parameters. You set the price, you set your location, and then you can start really learning the market. And then the second thing, once you start educating yourself on that, is go get your money set up. Whether you're going to, kind of traditionally finance, you're going to put 20-25% down and buy the investment property, or however you're going to do it, get set up so that when you see a good opportunity, you can jump on it and be a strong buyer. And there is so many people that I just see in action. And I'm not saying be reckless. I think that you can have a conservative approach to it, but being educated, being patient, but being able to move at lightning speed is really valuable. A lot of the best deals I have had, it wasn't because it was some off the market, hidden property. I wasn't sending a bunch of letters or anything like that. It was really my offer. It hit the market. It was a good deal, and my offer was better than the next person's. And better doesn't always mean more money. It means high likelihood to close. And so that's what I think is educate yourself, get your ducks in a row, and then don't be afraid to take action.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks for sharing. Well, before we wrap up here, if someone wants to reach out, connect, and learn more, where can people find you and connect with you?
Yeah, I'm on social media at Tony Moceri, so Instagram, LinkedIn, that sort of thing. I have a website, tonymoceri.com, and people explore that world. You see all the different things. I'm a freelance writer and coach and do all sorts of different things. And then I have the podcast, Drip, Trickle, Flow, Flood, which is available on all the platforms where I share a lot of financial stuff and a lot of our guests share financial stuff. And pretty open book. I'm a big proponent of people getting educated. And I believe that everybody can improve their financial situation and create a financial world that allows them to live the life they want to live. And so big proponent of pushing that out there to the world.
Perfect. Well, appreciate your time and your story. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And for the listeners tuning in, if you got value, make sure you have subscribed. We've got more conversations with operators like Tony who are building real businesses. We'll see you on our next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.